Hey guys, it's Jill, and today we're going to be discussing the ancient civilization of the Bueno people. Welcome to Crash Course. Welcome to another Crash Course video. Today, Alex is going to talk about the 8 traits of the ancient Bueno civilization. By the time you leave, you'll know everything you want and need to know about these ancient people.
Hi guys, it's Alex, and you're watching yet another episode of Civilizations. This week, we'll be talking about the civilization of Bueno. But before we get started, let's hear the creation myth said by our great reader, Will.
Long ago, when there was nothing but the mountains, oceans, and sun, there were no people. One day, the ocean looked up and saw the sun and thought that it might join it. The ocean turned into a cloud and flew up to him. While the ocean was going to the sun, the mountains felt lonely, so they made men out of stone to keep them company. The stones were all different colors and shapes. This is why we are not all the same. The people were many, and all were different. The ocean was too heavy in the sky and turned the sky gray and black. The people below looked up and cowered in fear. The mountains saw their creations in this feeble state that they were in and said to them, "Climb up on us and we will protect you from the storm." The people scattered this way and that, going to many different mountains all at once. The ocean, not being able to fly any higher, dropped out of the sky, scattering the mountains all over the world. Only a few of the mountains survived the impact, and those who didn't lost most of their bodies. The mountains are now the islands. The other mountains, shocked with grief for their brothers, stopped talking and moving. This is why they are silent. The ocean, still wanting to see the sun again, tries over and over to go back. Every time she tries to go up, she gets heavy and falls back down. The sun, not wanting to witness the events that happened last time, hides from the ocean for half of the day. The ocean gets angry because the sun hides and sometimes takes it out on man. These tantrums are storms. Man survives though, and will cherish their protective creators forever.
Thank you so much, Will, for reading that handy-dandy creation myth of yours. Now we're going to move on to the religious traits of the civilization of Bueno. Now, I know it sounds like Taco Bueno, but there are no tacos involved because apparently in this ancient civilization, Mexicans didn't exist, so therefore tacos didn't exist. Anyway, so in this civilization, the people really respected their elders. So these elders are the closest people to God, which basically means they're the closest to die. And this is where I would need some tacos because it gets pretty morbid. Anyway, so they worship their elders. So if you ever have a question, you go to them because they know all the stories. There's like nothing they don't know. So basically, they're the go-to people of the civilization. And they're up here, and then they have your parents or your grandparents, if you have great-grandparents, and it goes down the line. And of course they're polytheistic, so there's multiple gods. So you have the mountain god and the ocean god. They're pretty still salty about the ocean god, but he's up there. And yeah, that's religion. Alright, now on to government. So basically the government is connected mainly with the religion. So there's nothing new, but some key parts. So, of course, like the religion, the government is based around the elders. So you have this group of elders at the top of your government that have been there since the beginning. They know all the stories, they know what's supposed to happen, they're still the go-to people, and they make the laws that are there for the civilization. So if you have a really good crop season this year, and you have a really bad crop season this year, then the laws are going to differ between those 2 years because it's not set in stone, it's for whatever best for the civilization. Now on to job specialization. So for the people of Bueno, they didn't have much job opportunities because on one side you have mountains and on the other side you have oceans. So you need to find jobs that fit in either the mountain category or the ocean category. So for the ocean category, for the people who lived relatively close to the ocean, they had fishermen, of course, because we needed food in order to grow as a civilization. And then on the mountainside, we had miners, so we could get stuff for tools and architecture and just everyday life necessities. Then we had hunters, who were kind of in the middle, where they protected our resources from any animals that were trying to get to it. And then, of course, for the women, they would just stay at home, take care of the kids, and train the kids to be fishers, hunters, miners, or women. Now on to social hierarchy. So as we've said over and over before, the elders are up here because they're in charge of religion, they're in charge of the government, they're the go-to people, so they're obviously going to be the most important people in the civilization. Then after that, you have just basic senior citizens, where they're not quite elders, but they're still not young enough to keep working and giving the basic necessities for the civilization. But next in line is the adults. So these are the people that are making your basic necessities. They are the people that we can depend on in the civilization. And there's no men above women or women above men. They're completely equal in the sense of jobs and everyday life. And then under them are kids, so anybody under 18 who can't legally work on their own, but they're still there, they're still part of the civilization. They're just at the bottom. Now on to tools and technology. So here in this ancient civilization, they don't have iPhones or computers or 3D printers to make cups and bowls. They've got to do everything on their own. So most of the tools that they used were just basic necessities, like a tool could be a house in this time. So they had to make those on their own. But then for the technology, we had weapons for hunting. Now, when I say weapons, I don't mean guns to shoot other people. It's basically mainly for hunting animals, because this civilization had no enemies. And I don't know how they didn't have any enemies, because they had everything, and I would want to take it, basically. Alright, now on to architecture and arts. So here in this civilization, we had these tall towers, which is why I'm all the way up here, because I'm representing a tall tower. So every year, these people would get bricks. So when you're born, you get a brick. So basically, my feet represent one brick, because that's the starting point of my tower. Next, every year of your life, you get another brick. And that brick is just showing how you're growing as a person. So then by the time of your last brick, which is like right here, this tower is tall, and it's just sitting in your front yard for all the people to see how you've grown and how you've changed as a person. And I think that is so magical. Go, Bueno! Now on to language. Now the people of this civilization thought it was pretty stupid to have pictures for words. So they made an alphabetical language pretty similar to what ours is today. Alright, and for their numbering system, they had a pretty geometrical based system. You have tick marks for ones, then you have circles for tens, you have squares for 100s, and then you have triangles for the thousands. And this was made so they could keep track of the stuff they were shipping to and from within their civilization, because they didn't trade with others, to avoid any conflict, and also to just count anything for their necessities. So it's the bare necessities, and then
look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities are Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life.
For demographics, there are small villages that line the coast and nestled in the mountains. The largest cities are to the north, where the climate is colder and farming is generated closer to the south. It heavily depends on the rivers filling with snowmelt. Craftsmen like to make tools for their citizens. They also had an alphabet that was a lot like the Greek alphabet. Most adults were either hunters or gatherers, farmers, or fishermen. Now for an infomercial.
Hey. Wanna buy a rock?
No.
It's your lucky day then. This rock is a classic Bueno treasure, painted and found in the caves of the Californian coast and the mountains. You can buy this rock for $50. Do you want to buy it?
No.
But you really want to buy it though? It's a classic Bueno treasure.
that's all for today, guys. Tune in next week for more on civilizations. I'm Alex. There's Sergio. There's Preston. There's Jill. There's Will. We out. Hi guys, It's Alex, and I messed it up already.
I should have a blooper of me like.
Alright, thank you, Will, so much. Now we're going to move on to the religion